Hey moms, welcome to the Virtual Six Figure Mom Podcast, a show for moms who want to achieve their definition of success while managing their day-to-day responsibilities and maintaining some sense of sanity along the way. Let's jump into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode. I'm so happy to have you all here, mom friends all over the globe. Today it's just us, and I certainly want to use this time to talk about something that's come up quite frequently. I find myself having these conversations more and more, I think, over the past couple of years. And that's really professional development, right? Someone who wants to pivot. I get this, I want to do this, but I don't know if I'm qualified, Christina, or I've been thinking about, trying this, but I don't know where to start, right? A lot of us are going through changes, more self-evaluation, right? Self-reflection, and really thinking about what's ahead for us. So all valid concerns that really create some hesitation for moms, really thinking about that next step. I have some thoughts, as you might imagine, as someone who has pivoted in their career a couple of times, but also as someone who's partnered with other organizations that focus mainly, if not completely, on relaunchers or those who have taken career breaks, typically mothers, and have an interest in returning back into the workforce. For me, the focus was on financial services. So definitely have some firsthand experience in that. And I'll tell you my high level thoughts to consider. So first, figure out what you want to do and why you want to do it. And I'm going to say that last part again, why you want to do it, why you want to do it. Okay. Not about what someone else wants you to do, but why you want to do it. What do you enjoy doing? What do you typically, get excited about, right? What do people typically ask for your assistance with? For me, it's career advice, resume writing. Christina, can you look at my resume? Christina, can you edit it? It's professional development. It's planning advice, actually, too, which I absolutely love. I could talk about planners until I'm blue in the face. So planning advice as well. But what is it that gets you excited that you would do for free, that others think you're good at, right? That can actually generate some income. So a few things to think about. And then why are you interested in the pivot? Why are you interested in trying something new? Has it been a dream of yours for a long time? You want to increase your earning potential? I know for me, that was something I thought about when I shifted into financial services many years ago. I knew there was money to be made there. And at the time, I was a single mom. And I thought, you know what? I could do this, right? I could start in a role that doesn't require a whole lot of experience. And I could do this, work my way up, which is what I did. So things to think about, right? For me, I wanted flexibility as well down the road, which led to another shift. I wanted to be able to take vacations from time to time. So I wanted stability with solid PTO, nice income, of course. And I definitely know I wanted to buy a home. I've ended up, purchasing 1, 2, 3. And so being able to do these things, right, really came from intentional planning, very clear on what I wanted to do, very clear on the fact that I had to plan for that and that execution. And I knew why. I knew exactly why I wanted to do it. And it had absolutely nothing to do with what someone else wanted me to do. Okay. Have your own dream and be comfortable in owning that. So that's first and foremost, right? What do you want to do and why do you want to do it? Second thought for me is really figuring out what qualifications you need to do it. And this is very easy. Sometimes we overthink this piece, right? How do I do it? How do I make it happen? How do I ensure that when I submit my resume, I'm going to at least get that initial interview, that initial outreach? find a job description with the role you're looking for and just look at the basic qualifications, right? You can do that from a quick Google search, which will typically tell you everything you need to know. Google the role you want, Google the industry, Google the field, whatever it is, and you will find roles, you will find opportunities with job descriptions that will tell you everything you need to know. That's how you know what you need to do, right? And you start somewhere. You start somewhere. So that's my third tip, right? So first, figuring out what you want to do and why you want to do it. Second, figuring out what's required to actually get into that field. And then I'd say third. So once you know the qualifications, take a look at your work experience and determine where the gaps are. I actually like to print my resume, print the job description, and kind of do a side by side. Where are the opportunities? Grab a highlighter, highlight them. Next question you ask yourself, what can I do to fill in the gaps? Okay. You can learn just about anything on this lovely internet. LinkedIn Learning. I am a lover of LinkedIn Learning. All things business, technology, real estate. I even took some real estate photography classes because why not? And so much more. I think they charge around $40-ish per month for it at this point. Check for a free trial. I may actually have one I can send to you if you need it. See if your employer covers it. My school actually covered it. It was kind of a gift when we graduated. And I'm not sure if that's standard for them or if it was because I graduated with my master's during COVID and no real graduation at the time, right? So my school covered the cost of LinkedIn Learning. Some library memberships actually include free access to LinkedIn Learning. So do your research, maybe even volunteer. So often overlooked, if it's something you can actually do, right, can afford to do. And I think with technology being what it is today and the ability to volunteer remotely, look into a way to gain experience, right, by volunteering. So you're helping out an organization, right, helping them meet their goals, and you're learning something that's going to prove to be valuable in your own search, right? Want to be a therapist? Maybe offer your services to an organization that offers therapy. I remember many years ago, oh my gosh, I wish I could tell you all how many years ago this was. I volunteered for a domestic violence program. I still do, a different program, but I learned so much. I learned, the ins and outs of office support. I learned, confidentiality, right, which was huge. So that was something I could put on my resume, handling confidential documents, all of that. Start in the administrative support capacity or maybe an event coordinator and learn how things flow behind the scenes. Valuable information, valuable experience, resume building experience. Or consider going back to school, right? So, can't even believe I'm saying that. But I did it. I had a conversation with a former manager, boss, leader, someone I consider really an amazing coach, an amazing mentor, an amazing sponsor, someone who continues to be part of my life. And I told her, I think I want to go get my master's. And I kind of expected a why, because at the time I had 2 HR designations already. But she encouraged me, right, to go back to school, especially since our employer offered tuition reimbursement. So many institutions offer flexible online programs now that you can do at your own pace. And there's quite a bit of grant money and scholarships available for moms, for adult learners, for non-traditional learners. So look into that if you feel like you have the capacity. And let me tell you this, I say capacity because it requires a commitment. It really does. But if you find the right program with the right level of balance, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. You have to be intentional and you have to plan. But it's totally, totally possible. So that's number one. I talked about figuring out what you want to do and why you want to do it. Second, figuring out what qualifications you need. Um, and then really, diving into filling those gaps, right? For number three. Number four, tell a friend and then tell that friend to tell a friend. I can't stress the importance of networking enough. Like, I really, really, really can't. And I will tell you that is how I continue to excel and move into more challenging roles within HR, specifically in the talent acquisition and diversity, equity, and inclusion space. Network your way into your desired role. That is going to be critical, especially if you're not feeling confident in the skills and experience you bring to the table. And I say this as someone who has seen it happen successfully. I'm going to tell you this. Pull a chair in close. So, in my years of recruiting, I worked for an organization, of course, that will remain nameless. And there were managers, and this happens often, right? So there were managers who would say, oh, my friend's son wants this role or wants this internship. Can we hook him up? It's all in who that person knew, because sometimes, yeah, I want to finish that sentence, but I don't. Yeah, so sometimes the individual simply wasn't qualified. The individual simply wasn't someone we would consider, right? There were more qualified individuals, but they networked their way into a role within their choice organization. It happens, and it can happen for you. If you're not confident 100% and you just need someone to help you get in the door, start networking. LinkedIn, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I absolutely love LinkedIn, right? Create a profile if you don't already have one. You can absolutely reach out to me and we'll work together on that. It's easy to do. Believe me, I think sometimes we overthink it. It is truly easy to do. And it may be easy for me because of my many years of experience in recruiting. But I think it's extremely important. So there's that. Community events. I have met so many people at our community events. So I don't always go to the HOA meetings. I'm just going to say that. But if there's a food truck, right, at the community center, I'm there and I'm meeting neighbors I never would have met. All right. Another way, if your child's having something at school, go. I've met other parents that way. And again, it's all about telling people who know people who know people. It's that simple. I am very much an introvert. I've worked from home for a very long time. And I know how difficult it is or can be for those of us who are typically worn out after socializing. So I have to remind myself of why this is so important to live the life I want to live. Again, that goes back to understanding why you want to do what you want to do, knowing your why, right? So, fifth tip, dive in. A fellow mom friend of mine worked for a very popular insurance company. But she always talked about how much fun she had planning events. Okay. Her family and friends, myself included, often said, can you help me plan this party? Or her friends, not me, said, can you help me plan my wedding? Right. And I remember having conversations with her desire to leave the insurance company and do this full time, but she was hesitant, right? She needed to support her children. And like, what if it didn't work? It's working. She's doing so well. I'm actually going to have her as a guest. I won't tell you who she is yet, but I will have her as a guest. She is killing it as an event planner here in Virginia. Truly an amazing mother. Oh my gosh. She went for it. Single mother, by the way, 2 children, and she went for it. She knew what she wanted to do. Others were asking her for help. She enjoyed it. Folks were willing to pay her for it. It was aligned with her passion, right? She started getting experience doing it kind of on the side while she worked. And she essentially networked her way into success to build a successful business. True story. I know another mom who decided she wanted to work in the grief coaching space. So she did, right? She's building out her business. I'm so proud of her. You know, her son, I'm sure, is so proud of her. But her friends were constantly asking her for support in that area. And it was something that flowed naturally for her, right? Aligned with her purpose. She figured out what she needed to do. And a lot of that was asking for coaching assistance, right? She figured out what she needed to do to start a business in that area, start that coaching business. And then she made it happen. She went and got an additional certificate for coaching, and she started to network her way into building this amazing grief coaching business. I'm going to have her on the podcast too. She doesn't know it yet. She doesn't know it yet. Hi, Kimmy. So I said all of that to say, right, when you don't know what you want to do, but there are things you enjoy, or you're thinking about pivoting and trying something new, figure out exactly what you want to do and why. A coach helps with that. Figuring out what qualifications are needed. Google helps with that. Then executing, right? Filling in those gaps. It's going to take determination and planning, right? LinkedIn Learning helps with that. Network. So tell a friend to tell a friend who knows someone who knows someone. Network your way into the role. LinkedIn also helps with that. I promise it's not sponsored. And then 5th, dive in. Just go for it. I'm not telling you to, quit whatever you're doing now. Just give it a try. Give it a try. And I promise this mom friend community is going to cheer you on every single step of the way. Every single step of the way. I am going to cheer you on. We're going to talk about what you want to do, why you want to do it. We're going to put together an action plan, and I am going to cheer you on every step of the way. I am that accountability partner. I'm also funny sometimes. My kids would disagree. Yeah, they would disagree. So I said all that. Reach out to me. Let's connect. Make sure you are part of the community. Make sure you have signed up to join the virtual 6-figure mom community. I have enjoyed chatting with you today. I've enjoyed sharing with you today. And we'll certainly catch each other in the next episode. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening today. Make sure you stay connected with the virtual 6-figure mom community. Hit subscribe for podcast episodes. Visit our website at www.virtual6figuremom.com and join our growing online community on Instagram and LinkedIn.